Hello there, my name is Caio Sampaio, and I'm a career expert and certified professional resume writer. And I may be 29 years old, but I still remember my final years of high school very well. Stressing over the SATs, getting excited about prom, and looking for a job. And oh boy, this last one was the most difficult to deal with. After all, how do you convince someone to give a job to a teenager? Well, continue watching to find out, because I'm going to walk you through how to write a high school resume. And the first thing you need to know is what you should aim for. You need a resume that shares all your skills convincingly. So you need a high school resume that looks like this. I created this fictional high school resume example for this video, and you can see how it's eye-catching while summarizing all the information recruiters want in a way that heightens readability. If you send a resume like this, you'll be sure to be getting phone calls in no time. And the best thing is that you don't need to ask your parents to hire someone like me to create something like this for you. In fact, you can create a high school resume like this during your lunch break in just 5 minutes, so long as you use the Zety resume builder. It's kind of like taking an exam but being able to check all the answers. You cannot fail, because the Zety resume builder breaks down the resume writing process into easy steps while offering you advice that is tailor-made for the job that you want, ensuring your high school resume will be worthy of an A+. So the very first step is to visit Zety.com and click Try a Resume Builder. Then create your resume now. And now you're going to visit the Zety Resume Builder Templates Gallery. It features templates with all sorts of styles, and you can always change the fonts and the colors, allowing you to create something that will be as personalized as possible for the job and company you wish to apply for. And regardless of what you create, the result will always be ATS friendly. I know that choosing can be hard, but don't stress too much over this choice, because you can change the template later at any time you want. So for this demonstration, let's pick the template I used to create a high school resume example that you just saw. And now if you already have a high school resume, you can upload it to the Zety Resume Builder to automatically transfer its information onto the high school resume template that you have just chosen. But if this is your first time writing a high school resume with no experience, you should create a high school resume from scratch, which is what we're going to do for this presentation. Now it's time for you to actually start making your high school resume. And the first step here is the same regardless of your experience. Just add your name, phone number, and email. After that, you need to tell the Zety Resume Builder why you want to make a high school resume, so it can offer you a tailored experience based on your needs. Let's assume you're seeking a new job. And that brings us to your work history. And this is where most high school resumes fail, because students assume they have zero experience and just ignore this part. But you may have more experience than you realize, because you can include here things like volunteering, freelance work, or part-time jobs. And to do so, you just need to add your job title, the name of the company where you worked, and your tenure working there. Then it's a good idea for you to include some bullet points sharing your responsibilities and achievements. Think of all the times when you made your workplace better, and if you need some help, there's no shame in raising your hand and asking for it. The Zety Resume Builder offers some suggestions that you can add to your high school resume and tweak them as needed. All these suggestions were written by certified professional resume writers. They're kind of like the tutors that will help you get an A+ in this assignment. And if you still need some more advice from them, you can click tips here to see more insights. And now let's talk about your education. And this is the most important part of a high school resume. After all, studying is your job for now, and recruiters want to know if you take it seriously. And the first step is telling the Zety Resume Builder that you are pursuing a high school degree. Now you just need to fill out the fields that you see on screen, but this is where the average high school student would stop. You, however, need to show recruiters that you are taking your studies very seriously. So it's a good idea for you to share some more information, like your GPA, honors, and awards, for example. In the high school resume sample that I shared with you, as you can see here, I included some extracurricular activities and awards. Now it's time for you to show what you've learned in your studies. Be sure to choose from 6 to 12 relevant skills, and your best bet is to check the job ad to see the skills recruiters want for the job. But if you want to take a shortcut, you can just type your professional title here on the left, and the Zety Resume Builder will share some suggestions. And you can also grade your skills from 0 to 5 by clicking here, as you can see on your screen. And that brings us to the high school resume summary. There's no need for you to write an essay here, you just need to write a short introduction with your objectives and what skills you bring to the table. If you want some advice, as always, the Zety Resume Builder offers you many suggestions tailor-made for your career. And this is where most students finish their high school resume. But you can get the upper hand on them by adding some extra information on your high school resume template. You should add here anything that helps convince recruiters that you have the skills needed to get the job done, but for one reason or another you cannot include in the previous sections. That can include things like projects, hobbies, and languages, for example. And once you're done with that, we can go to the final step. But before we get there, I have a surprise. No, don't worry, it's not a surprise test, but the other candidates that will compete against you certainly need to worry, because the Zety Resume Builder uses the Smart Apply exclusive technology, which ensures your resume will rank higher in the screening software recruiters use. And now it's time for the last step, which is refining your high school resume. You can change your high school resume template, its colors, and fonts. You can also perform a spell check. After all, the recruiter is tougher than your English teacher. If they catch a typo, they will not deduct points. They will just disqualify you, so be sure to check that. And another crucial thing is changing the order of the sections in your high school resume templates, because the Zety Resume Builder lets you drag and drop the sections to reorganize your resume. And it's best for you to put your education first, since you have little experience. And once everything looks impeccable, you just come up here and click Finish Resume to download your high school resume as a PDF. And that is all. And if you want to see more advice, you can read our full article written by a career expert. The link will be in the description below. I hope this video was useful to you. If it was, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Zety Resume Builder YouTube channel for more videos like this. Take care, and I'll see you next time.